guys, welcome to another session. And this time we are live with Anand. His Instagram handle is Travel with Siraj.
That's
So
correct.
that's the first question.
All right.
Travel with Siraj. Kyun? Why? What does that mean?
All right. So it was actually we started Siraj when we went to Thailand. This was like 2 years back. We'd gone to Thailand
Okay.
and we started like we ended up clicking way too many pictures. I had a GoPro. We bought another GoPro because the other one was way too old, and then the GoPros get bad after some time. So
It was
we just
GoPro
started,
4.
huh? No, I had
It was
initially a
4.
GoPro 3, then when we bought was 7. So like, it's like
Okay.
long time.
It was, yeah. Class apart.
Yeah. So we bought the GoPro and then we just started shooting. Like, we just like started shooting everything, like videos, photos, everything. And then we also realized like, how much we both love the sea. So we started like posting pictures on our Instagram. But then we had so many pictures. We were like, यार इतना सब कुछ तो नहीं डाल सकते अपने personal profiles में. Why not let's just start something
Yeah.
which is between the two of us. So then we thought a lot about the name, like how to go about the name. Then we realized that we love sea so much, like samudri, it's like those pirates. When they were like these pirates, there used to be always like these rats traveling with in the ships and stuff. So like, why not let's just call ourselves that. So that's how we came up with Siraj.
Okay.
I
Interesting
mean,
name.
it's a little limiting. I mean, we don't just travel to beach locations; we travel everywhere, mountains as well. But I mean, at that time, that was the thought.
Okay, okay. Great, in fact. So, what kind of travel do you normally like? It's leisure, backpacking, adventure. What's your
So
favorite
it's a
traveling style?
actually we do everything. Well, there's fun in everything. Like backpacking has its own fun, luxury has its own fun, then adventure is like there, it's a common between all. Like, yeah, whether it's luxury travel or leisure travel or backpacking, adventure is like a part of it that like was always in it. So for us,
Okay,
there's no. I won't say there's no favoritism here. We like traveling everywhere. If you're in Bangkok, it also depends on the place, right? So if you're in Bangkok, you don't want to stay in a hotel. You want to stay in a backpacker hostel. So you get to meet people, interact with them, talk with them. But if you're in a remote island, I mean, then it's good to have like a good accommodation. So then we go luxury.
with a
So we just
with a
we just do
good
it on
sea
our
view.
budget. Yeah, exactly. A great sea view. Uh, hope a villa if possible.
Yep, yep. Okay. So, just to brief everyone, the topic for today's discussion with Anant is adventure tourism in India. Uh,
Yeah.
so, Anant and Rashmi, they they particularly like this adventure tourism concept. They have done a lot of sports also across India. So we'll be talking about what are the options, and Anant would probably throw some light upon do's and don'ts, what to take care of, where to look for adventure sports options. Over to you. Where do you want to
All right.
start with?
Okay. First of all, like, let's just start with uh, okay, let's start with how I started with adventure tourism. This was back in 2015. Me and my friend, we were sitting, we were working, and then suddenly we were like very frustrated with our lives. So we were like, यार कुछ तो करते हैं, मतलब ये से बैठे रहते हैं, कुछ करते नहीं हैं. And then finally he said to me that चल मतलब we were just like watching stuff, and there's this something called as People Are Awesome. There's this like a channel, if you know about it. So it's basically a
No,
compilation
about
of videos. It's basically a compilation of videos where people are doing like superhuman things, like like uh,
okay,
great athleticism. It's just like they basically make compilation videos. That's like you send your entry,
okay,
and they make compilation videos. So like we saw that and we were like so inspired by it. And then
okay,
there was this segment of paragliding in it, and we were like, "Whoa, man, we gotta like let's try and do like this. This seems awesome." So then we searched everywhere, like where can we find paragliding? So initially we were looking at France, like वहाँ पे होगा. It didn't even cross our minds that maybe India में भी कुछ होता होगा. Then as like we were searching, we figured out that भाई मतलब एक तो France में it was way too expensive, we couldn't afford it. And the other thing was that we finally found out that it happens in India too, and that also in Maharashtra, in Kamshet. So we came across
Okay.
this school, Temple Pilots. They used to do paragliding. They teach paragliding out there. So we decided, we both took an off from our work. We sent mails, hey, we need 15 days off. And luckily both of us got approved. So we both
15
went
days.
on so we both went on a paragliding trip. And that's how my association with paragliding started. And so man, Kamshet is also like, it's a different feeling altogether when you're up in the air and you can see the sunset going down behind the mountains. It's a amazing feeling. So we were surprised to know that paragliding in India has developed quite a bit. Like there are way too many people who are into this sport, and I'm not just talking about doing tandem where you just sit and there's a pilot behind you. I'm talking about actually learning the sport.
Okay.
So they have like these batches P1, P2, P3, and you can do all of them together. It's a little bit expensive. It costs around 40K to do a 10-day course in Kamshet, Pune. But it's really worth it. Like it's a skill that I would say, like flying in general, aviation in general, it's very risky, but the thrill that you get is unparalleled. So
Yeah.
that
Did you
was
try it in beer?
So thing about beer is now there are two basically when you're doing paragliding, all the paragliders, they're designed to come down. They're designed to come down at a certain descent rate. But because if you always want to keep flying, you don't want to come down. Like if the height is not much, then you just come down in 3 minutes. What we look for are certain conditions in which we are able to fly a lot. So in Kamshet, Pune, and in Panchgani, what generally people do is they look for ridge soaring. It's basically a concept where if there's a mountain and there's wind coming parallel to it, like perpendicular to it, like along the ridge of the mountain, there'll be like a wind bubble, and then you can fly in this wind bubble for like forever. As long as the wind bubble exists, you can fly. So that's what we do in here in Kamshet and in Panchgani. In beer billing, there's a different concept. It's called thermaling. Because of difference in air temperatures, there's basically wind which goes up. They're like air columns which go up. So you fly in these columns and you go up. With those, you can really fly like 150 kilometers at a stretch. It's called cross country. I haven't done that yet. I've just only been certified till ridge soaring. So that is still I need to learn that. But otherwise also I also wanted to try it, and it's just not happened till now. Actually,
It's wonderful.
Yeah. The thing is that
Beer is an experience.
oh yeah, in general, the beer is the takeoff side, billing is the landing side. So they merged it together as beer billing.
It's an experience to do. I did paragliding. I don't know which year. It was in Mahabaleshwar. That was the first time, I guess. It was way back, at least 7-8 years back.
All right.
And
how was your experience?
All this while I didn't do it. It was last year that I went to beer billing and did it there. But yeah, it was awesome.
All right. How was how long did you fly?
I guess for about 25 to 30 minutes.
Wow, that's a long flight. Long flight. Generally, people get
flight,
yeah, nice. So, but I'm guessing you didn't learn how to fly. You did it tandem with somebody.
No. I was with a pilot. I was sitting like I don't know how to do it alone.
No, but it's not that hard. Like most of the adventure sports, I realize paragliding it requires the least amount of effort from your end. Like it doesn't require you to be very athletic. Like it just requires controls which you can
Yeah.
learn in a safe setting on training hills. You can learn that, but
Yeah.
as a requirement in terms of athleticism, you don't require anything in there.
You
Just
don't
generally,
need physical strength basically.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
okay, I'll try it out sometime. So I guess there is one place in Rajasthan also where we can do paragliding. I'm
In
not sure.
Rajasthan, I don't know
Yeah.
about Rajasthan. I generally actually most of these places where there are not mountains and all, what they do is they do paramotoring. There's a motor behind you, and
Yes. Yes.
basically with that you don't require height. You can start from ground and increase the power of the motor, and you'll fly really high. So yeah, that's a
That's
different
available
form.
in India.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They do it in Kamshit also, but
Okay.
it's not that famous. Because
Okay.
taking not everybody has the space to keep a paramotor in their house. Like it's
Yeah.
a big. It's as big as a, I would say, a two-wheeler.
That conical shaped thing that's you're talking about.
That's no, that's not paragliding. That's it's called
That's
hang
something
gliding.
else.
That's hang gliding.
Okay.
Yeah, where you're suspended from the triangle shaped.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's hang gliding. In aviation, there are other ones also. Hot air ballooning.
Yeah.
That happens. Yeah, that happens in Rajasthan as well. Uh,
Yes.
hot air ballooning as well. Yeah.
In fact, in Gujarat also, Run of Kutch also.
Ah, yes, Run of Kutch, the Kutch festival around that time I've
That's,
seen. Yeah,
so
that's
last
true.
time I went there, it was banned due to some issue, probably some official was visiting Run of Kutch, so all these sports were on
Or
hold. So we didn't do it.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, we're slaves to the bureaucracy.
yeah. So I've heard that in evening, if you can do balloon ride, it's
Yeah,
completely off. The
it's
sunset looks very beautiful.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
And
just about.
yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying that in any way, when you're up in the air, I don't know about other people, but I feel awesome. Like, when you're up in the air flying, it's an incredible feeling just to see everything from a bird's eye view. Uh,
Yeah.
it becomes even better when there's a sunset or a sunrise.
I haven't tried it till now. Let's see. But
Uh,
yeah, so what else have you tried in sports, adventure sports?
So I've done a lot. I've tried. I've done surfing. I've done kite surfing, scuba diving, snorkeling. I always do. I'm trying to learn free diving now. Trying to improve my depth while free diving. So let's talk about scuba diving. Then we can come to.
Scuba
Scuba
is
diving is
something
an
that is really picking up in India
Oh
now.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. People, I mean, again, it's one of the another sport that is not very physically demanding. Like it doesn't require you to be a great athlete to do
No,
scuba.
if you want to be a professional, if you want to be a diver, a certified diver, then of course that would need energy. And I'll tell you why I know that.
Hmm.
So if in India, if you go to Goa, some place like Goa or
Hmm.
somewhere in India, they'll put you to training sessions and all, and you'll clear your certifications and all. But if
Yeah.
you go to some foreign destination, like there is Mabul Island, if
Hmm.
you go there and you start diving there, you'll feel the difference, how much energy that is required, and the kind of vigor that is required to actually go to second level, probably.
The
So
advanced open
it's
water.
very different.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, obviously that happens with all sports. Uh, so this is just recreational, and recreational people just go till 50 meter. I
Yeah,
work on oil rigs, and then there are divers who go up to 80 to 100 meter. Like,
yeah.
that's another level. Like,
That's
you
another
can't,
level.
yeah, for them, they need decompression chambers. They can't just come out. They need to spend 2 days in decompression chambers before they're able to come out. Yeah, but
Yeah.
But for like normal recreation fun dives, which are called like, where from 12 to 18-meter dives which happen, you don't even need to know swimming. Like a lot of people think
Okay,
that you
so
can't.
if you're diving alone, then you need to know swimming. If someone is going with you, then you don't need to know swimming.
Yeah. But like I'm talking about as an activity, people think I don't know swimming, so I can't scuba dive. Like I can't
Yeah, but
even,
yeah, if
you know.
someone is taking you, then of
Yeah.
course, because
Obviously,
he'll be
alone.
holding you.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
many people who do alone. Like generally, everybody goes to a dive school because they have like safety net, and even if they're not looking after you, you know that you've gone with them, so they won't leave you and just come back.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
absolutely.
so like
That's also.
nobody really.
But for these fun dives, they take you not below like 1 meter, 2 meter, probably 5 meter at max. Uh,
Really?
15 to 15 to 20 feet. That's in Goa probably.
All right.
In places like Andaman, they take you to like probably 30 feet, but not below that.
Yeah.
There are
So
dive sites actually wherein if you are a professional diver, they'll take you by boat and then they just let you go to 60 feet, 100 feet. And that's a longer session, probably an hour of dive. But if someone is taking you, I guess that's for 15, 20 minutes. That's what
uh,
I saw in Goa.
all right. So the thing is, if you wanna do like diving in India, like doing it in places like Goa is like kind of useless. They generally will only take you in a swimming pool and teach you there, or if
Yes.
or else if they take you out in the sea, there is no visibility. You can't see anything. Like you won't see
There's no
anything
visibility.
because there's no visibility there, and it's not the fault of Goa, or it's not like the water is dirty. It's just that we have so many rivers flowing in the western coast into the sea. They bring silt with them, so the water is too murky. You won't be able to
Yes.
see anything. So what better idea is to go to Andaman or Lakshadweep. These are the places where you have incredible visibility, and you can like really like enjoy, see things, and they have different varieties of dive sites. So what happens in fun dives? They take you around 12 meters max, like at least in the ones that I know of. They 12 meters is the limit that they take you at, and in 12 meters uh, sometimes it's not even through a boat. You just go from the beach and you keep swimming, and
Yeah, you
then
just
you.
walk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so those are fun dives where they just teach you the basics of scuba diving. There'll be some corals, you'll get to see that. But I guess a more fun thing would be to actually learn, the proper open water. So the first level, which is the open water scuba, it's you are certified till 18 meters. You can dive till 18
Right.
meters. Then the advanced open water is till 30 meters.
Yeah.
So that's about
You go to
90 feet.
100 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
90 to
100
100
feet.
feet. Yes. That's correct. That's correct. So scuba, if you're looking for scuba in India, Andaman is the place. They've got the
Andaman is.
best Yeah. Best infrastructure. They have Lakshadweep is also there, but in Lakshadweep you need permits. There are too many permits that are required, so it kind of uh,
Yeah.
kills the mood. Like it's a lot of effort. Andaman is like the infrastructure is already there. There are several dive
Yeah.
schools out there. You can choose a lot of
There are
them.
better
Like there,
facilities in Andaman.
yeah.
Stay options are better. It's cheaper as compared to Lakshadweep. So,
Exactly. And like so there are good dive sites also, like dive centers also. Barefoot Scuba is really
yeah.
nice. Dive India is there.
Yeah.
And
Diving
now
is.
in India now they've also even started this new concept where you just do dive tourism, where you get a private instructor. He like it's all inclusive, paid, everything paid. He'll be there. He'll take you around. He'll show you like there's a lot of flexibility in what dives you can do. Like, cause
Okay.
it makes a world of a difference if you're doing it in what dive site you dived. So most of these
Mm-hmm.
they won't take you to the really good sites, but if you're going with a private instructor, they'll know exactly where to go. So now they've come up with
Are
this
you aware
concept.
of this? there's another concept of liveaboard. The in India, I'm not sure whether that's available, not even in Andaman, but yeah, in places like Malaysia, Thailand, and all, you stay on a ship for 3 4 days, and they take you to dive sites.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you do 3 to 4 dives per day on
Yeah.
different
Nice.
locations, but you stay on the ship. They keep
Okay.
taking you to different places.
Yes, 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 yes. But I knew of a friend who had done this, but he was telling me it's very expensive. I don't
It
know
is very
how.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very expensive.
He told me that was like a luxury thing. That's all they did. They took him
Yes.
from one place to another, and man, you come out and like your tea is ready. Like it's a
Yes.
complete
Yes.
luxury experience. Yes, yes.
Yeah. But it is
But yeah,
something that that one should try if he is really passionate about scuba,
yeah,
because the
yeah,
sites that they choose, they're not normally not available uh, to normal people, and they are far away from shore, so you cannot just go there, do the
exactly.
dive, and come back. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
not possible in a day's time. So it's a
yeah,
longer
yeah.
trip across the ocean. I guess that should be fun.
Oh, I'm sure. So, just even about like diving in general, like if you do not want to do it with a school, doing with a private instructor can also really like if you're like a group of 6 people, just get one of these guys who like arrange these trips. They're a lot more fun than school. The one thing that I did not like about schools was they're very corporate. Like it's a very corporate atmosphere. It's not all fun and games. With the private instructor, it's like just you and like your friends. So your friends can like you and your friends can just do whatever you want. Otherwise, when you're with other people, there's like a little bit of a limitation as to what extent you can go.
Travel my way, liveaboard sounds good. Oh, you come on! You told me about liveaboard. Why are you saying? She's my wife.
Okay. Yeah, and there's where is
She is
Rashmi?
a
Okay.
certified diver.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, and I don't know how to swim. Yeah, so she has been exploring all this stuff.
You don't know how to swim?
No. Okay, so how can he find about private instructors? That's what
Uh,
she's asking.
I okay. I know one private instructor and he's really good. I went on a dive with him and it was incredible. We didn't go as like it wasn't a planned thing, but he told me about it. So I had a great time with him. His name is Tanuj Narang. I'll give his number out. You can get in touch with him. I don't know how much live a boat cost, but his thing.
Travel my way if you can help. I mean, she must be knowing the cost. She has done a bit of research. If you can help with the cost, she'll answer to that.
Okay, what is my favorite adventure sports? Okay, that one has to be kite surfing.
Okay, liveaboard in southeast costs around 70K per day. Okay,
All right, all right, not
yeah.
bad, not bad. And the private instructor, I think he costs around 50 to 60K per person, but it's like a multiple day thing. It's not per day. It's like you
Okay,
take a group of 5 to 6 people with you, and you
okay.
go on different dive sites. So it can be anywhere: Andaman, Gili. Uh,
That's
I'll
okay.
huh? It's a pretty good thing. I'll share the number.
Yeah, yeah.
And what was other question? Yeah, kite surfing is my favorite adventure sport. Has to be. Man, I'm in love with water. Like I enjoyed paragliding, but then I used to really love it. Like I used to love flying around and stuff, and I had gotten quite a lot of eras as well. But then kite surfing happened. I discovered kite surfing, and then after that I just never went back to paragliding. So,
Okay.
so
So
I have
have
a
you done some course of
huh?
kite surfing?
Yes. So thing is, kite surfing in India happens primarily now in two places. One is Goa, the other is Rameshwaram. So it's basically a wind dependent sport. You need a lot of wind to basically first of all, what is kite surfing? Kite surfing. Let me just see if I can just share this here. Yeah, okay. I'll till that is going on. I will. Here's a friend of mine, Samar. He says hi, Samar. Affordable. Okay, I'll take that. Hey, thank you for that. That awesome video. Thanks, Soumya. About kite surfing again. First of all, what it is. I'll just be sharing my laptop screen.
Hmm.
They've invited, 24 of the best riders doing this, all from all over the mines.
So this is basically Red Bull King of the Air, which happens in Cape Town.
Okay.
The criteria is basically we're looking for big air, and
So there are two places, which is one is Rameshwaram, the other is Goa. Now, generally for kite surfing, you need high winds, so that's like above 12 knots. Uh, in India, along the west coast, that's like Mumbai, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, we get good winds from months of January till May. After that, the
Okay.
monsoon starts, so the rain happens. Now you can kite surf in rains as well. It's a lot of fun, but most of the tourism boards don't let you teach it. So you can learn it and then just kite on your own during the rainy seasons. So I learned kite surfing in Rameshwaram first. With There's this group called as Quest Asia. It's run by Jihan Driver. Uh,
Okay.
so First of all, Rameshwaram is a beautiful place. Like I love the place. It's incredibly beautiful. Dhanushkodi was like, it just blew my mind. Uh, Single stretch of road and water on both sides. I was like, wow, what a place. Uh,
Haven't been there.
yeah. So, but the problem in Rameshwaram is lack of good accommodations. You don't get that many good accommodations. So this guy, he had started that Quest Asia. He has now built like villas. So you can now go there and actually live with him itself. So you don't need to stay somewhere else and just do the water activities with him. He's got a lot of water activities with him. You can do kayaking, stand-up paddle boarding, windsurfing. But like kite surfing is what he primarily is the major game that he likes to teach. So that's one place. The other place is Goa. Now, good thing about Rameshwaram is that all year around, you have generally good winds. But the problem is, if there's no wind, there is nothing to do there. Like you will get bored. Like it's like a desolate place. So if you're from Mumbai or if you're from Delhi, not from the basically the East Coast, it makes more sense for you to go to Goa
Yeah.
and learn kite surfing there, because if the winds are not there, you can still go out at the beach, have
Do
fun,
something. Yeah. At
do something.
least
There's
have
always an
something.
activity to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
in Goa, I kite surf in this place called as Morjim. It's a Morjim beach. It's in the North Goa, and the instructor that I would really recommend to like anybody who's starting this sport is there's this guy called as Philippe Dartnell. He has a page called as Kite Surfing Goa on Instagram as well. You can check him out. He's pretty good. Like when I initially learned, there are small things that make the world of difference in your skill. Like, very, very small things like your body position and stuff like that. So he was the one who could correct me very easily. Like he's now what 65. He's 65 years old and he's tearing apart the waves. Like it's incredible to see somebody so old and being so fit. Like he's fitter than I am. So
Okay.
the Yeah, so Goa, if you are in Goa and you want to try something from the months of Jan to May, do kite surfing. You're gonna love it. I'm sure of it. The only thing about kite surfing is that it can take time. Now, because we are all Indians, we're not as athletically inclined as let's say Europeans. Because from a very young age, Europeans are taught to be out in the outdoors. They have a lot of board skills, like they're always skateboarding or there's snowboarding, or it's like ingrained in them. So from a young age, when you learn, it becomes easier for you to uh, get this sport later on. For us, it takes a little time. The cost of the course is around 20K, 20,000, and it happens in. So it depends from instructor to instructor. So it's like from 20 to 25,000 is generally the fee. And so this guy, he takes about 14 hours. He'll teach you for 14 hours. He'll give you a IKO certification also. Uh, Honestly, I don't understand what is the like. We all have this need to get a certificate the most. Whether do you get a certificate or not? Yeah, you will get a certificate, but that certificate is very useless. Like in the end, when you're out in the water, something happens. It's your skill that matters and not the certificate. So, but yeah, like both these places, Rameshwaram and Goa, both of these schools will provide you with certificate with IKO classification.
Okay.
So yeah, you can
Let's
try
see
that.
if there are questions. How much does kite surfing cost in Goa?
Yeah, around 20 to 25,000 to learn around. But it's a 14-hour course, so it'll happen around 14. It'll happen around 14. So 14 hours will take about 3 to 4 days to learn because you won't be spending 5 hours in the water. It gets very tiring. And initially, when
There's
you're
another
learning,
one.
huh?
Yeah, please go ahead.
No, I
Continue.
was saying initially when you're learning, what happens is you end up swallowing a lot of water. You will be swallowing a lot of salt water and then you'll be coughing a lot. But it's all good fun once you know the sport. Then you won't even be touching the water. Like the only thing touching the water would be your feet.
Okay, there's another one. My question is how to make money by traveling. Okay,
All right, we'll take that. I'll take that. So
yeah.
there are a lot of avenues if you really want to look like earn money through traveling now. uh, Most important that we tell everyone is develop a skill set that is marketable. So it can be writing, it can be photography, it can be video editing, it can be any of these things. So then what happens is when you're in this space, uh, if you're a good editor, a lot of these travel bloggers, they actually uh, travel and fashion bloggers, they actually travel with photographers. Like they have their own personal photographers. So if you're that good, you can get employed by them. Other thing is that look at freelance websites, where there are a lot of them. Just apply whatever skill you know. Let's say writing, so apply there. Uh, if your writing is good, maybe you can then. Initially, the start is always slow, but you build on it. And once you have enough contacts and you know a lot of people, you'll start getting a lot of work. So that is like one way of making money by building skill sets. Now I'm sure there are other ways also. You can be a tour guide, you can be a tour operator, and other aspects. Well, we haven't gone that route, so it's very difficult for us to talk about that. We've gone the blogging route. Like we basically blog, and sometimes what happens is we, let's say, reach a property which we really liked, like we didn't expect, and it was amazing, so we just go and we tell them, listen guys, we have a page, do you want to work with us? We can create a video for you, or we can post about how good your place is, and in turn we can either exchange for like stay, or it can be an exchange for money. Like generally money happens later, first people do barter. So I mean,
Yeah, that's the
so
first thing. That's the
yeah,
easier way for hotel guys also. They actually do not have to shell out any money. They just have to provide you free space. So that's
yeah,
very
exactly.
normal.
Yeah, it works for like, so basically another thing that I will say is that don't take travel as the only source of income. That is not the way to think about this. You need to diversify what you can from where you're earning money. So only travel, it doesn't work for us also. Travel costs a lot, and we have other liabilities as well. So just travel won't work. Right now we're doing like two jobs. Rashmi has a company of her own. She does design, and her company is into basically branding, making logos, making brand books, and other things as well. They're into production also. So, but she manages her work that way. But if you wanna go completely into, let's say, blogging, even then you will need to create other skill sets which you can market. So you'll have, it won't be all fun, like rainbows and sunshines. It won't be
I guess we lost you.
can you come again?
I guess we lost you in between.
Wait. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Okay. Do you want me to repeat?
No, that's fine. I guess it was for just a second, I guess.
All right. Any other questions?
Let's go back to the adventure sports topic.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
digress from it.
I will take this also. How does Anand and Rashmi manage who does what for each trip? I'll take this later. And I'm good, guys. I'm still in Saudi, stuck here waiting for a flight back. Now moving back to travel and adventure. So kite surfing has been good. We've spoken about scuba diving. We've spoken about paragliding. Just couple of things about scuba diving also. If you're not comfortable with scuba diving, you can also try snorkeling. That's a great fun way to learn to get to ease into scuba diving, because not everybody is okay with the experience of being inside the water. Like some people say that when everything is just, because once you go inside the water it becomes silent, like the world becomes silent. So not everybody is they don't like that. So snorkeling is
Enjoy
a great.
that kind of silence, basically. Not
Huh?
everyone enjoys that kind of absolute silence.
Yes, yeah.
It is scary also for some people if there is nothing that you can actually hear.
Yeah,
You're kind of in unknown surrounding, unknown space, not sure what to do. You can't even run. So being in that area is scary.
yes,
But yeah,
yes.
if you can actually feel the silence and be there for a while, spend probably 10 minutes and then start feeling it, then it's a blissful experience.
That's true. That's true. But like I have seen people chicken out a lot. They go to that boat, and on the boat they decide, no, I don't want to go into the water. Like, and that happens. I not making. There's no need to make fun of it. People are just, everybody has
It happens,
different
yeah.
fears.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah, but so for them, I would say start with snorkeling. Like, if you're afraid of the water, start with snorkeling. It's very easy. There's nothing, you can always just take your head out of the water and be fine. And snorkeling, you don't need to know swimming. You can have a life vest on, and you can do with that. And the same thing is, uh, so start with snorkeling. Good places to snorkel in India. I only know of Andaman and Lakshadweep. uh, in the mainland India, because of the visibility issue, you're not gonna enjoy it. Outside India, go
Yeah.
to Thailand. It's a great place. All right.
I guess
So let's just yeah, one moment. Let's just 1 second. So Yograj says
yep.
hi guys. Travelers feed one hi. Shooters hi. Hey, I don't know what this guy is saying. I've answered. My question is how to make money by traveling. I hope that was good. Come to Bali. We've been to Bali. It was a great experience. Sorry couldn't see you in Khajuraho. Hello, Riddhi. Hello, shooters. Hello, Prashant. I'll answer your question later, Brent, on how we manage our trips. I'm good. I'll share some behind the scenes about my vlogging. My dream destination for me, probably Raja Ampat in Bali and Philippines. I really want to go to Palawan. Chaudhary, yeah,
Dream
Arjun, yeah, you
destination
can.
in India.
Huh?
What's the dream destination in India?
My favorite destination in India. Okay, this
Dream
like sounds like a.
destination.
Huh? Favorite destination
Dream
in India.
destination.
Dream destination in India, right? Okay. So far, my favorite destination has been Goa. Unfortunately, I just love that place. Uh, it's also because I have a
That's
lot of
okay.
friends, a lot of friends there. But two destinations I really want to see. One is Kerala. I want to see Wayanad. Well, I've heard it's really beautiful. And the other thing I want to see is the Northeast. We've only seen Shillong and it blew our minds. Now we want to see Nagaland and we want to see Arunachal as well, and other parts of Seven Sisters and Sikkim. So it doesn't end, but yeah, uh, yeah. Arjun, you can ask your query. We'll answer it. Neeta Upadhyay, that's my mom. Hi, mom. Akash, what are your some advanced sports places in Europe you would like to travel to? Man, okay, right now I'll answer that later. And the rest of you, hi guys. Now just going back to adventure sports in India, we're digressing from that. Uh, okay, so think about scuba diving, paragliding, and kite surfing. They're a little both capital intensive sports. थोड़ा पैसा लगता है to manage these sports, and not everybody has it. I understand. सबके अलग, everybody's in a different boat there. Uh, One sport that you can really try is slacklining. That's a that's a that's one awesome adventure sport that you can try. To set it like it doesn't take it requires a lot of athletic abilities, but that is something that you have to build over time. So what is slacklining? Let me just show you what slacklining is. So that was slacklining. It's basically like
Have you
tightrope
tried?
walking. Huh?
Have you tried it?
Yes, I have. I have. I'm not very good at it. It's something that I want to get better at. But one thing I really like about slacklining is that there's not much equipment required. You just need to buy the initial gear, which is basically a belt. You just buy that, and with that, like a tightening, there's a strap to it. You buy that, go to any park near your house where there are two trees close by around 20-25 feet apart apart from each other. Just tie it around and practice. It's a great way to work out. You get amazing core strength, and you lose a lot of weight also. You'll and plus you'll get like a lot of you'll get really athletic. You learn about balance. So this is a great sport that you can try, and to try this, like once you learn the initial basics of slacklining, what people do is they take it to highline. They So this is all like on the ground level, like 3 to 4 feet above the ground level. High lines are where you're doing it between two mountains,
Yeah.
where you're like 300-400 feet above the land. And that's one thing that I have not tried. Like I've only done slacklining at the but I mean that would be an experience as well. And the
Absolutely.
best part the best part is that everybody can get involved in this sport. Not It's just not for the people who have money. So if you guys are looking for a slackline instructor, um, Samar Faruqi, I learned it from him. He's pretty good at it. You can learn it from him. He has an Instagram page, Slacklife Inc. Inc. That is his.
Here he is.
So he goes everywhere in India. Whoever wants to learn can call him there. He goes there, but you need to have a sizable group so he can teach all of you. So it becomes, feasible for him in terms of monetary wise. Otherwise, he's
Right.
based out of Mumbai, but he's taken workshops in Mumbai. He's taken workshops in Pune, Bangalore, like, so you can do it everywhere. So that's slacklining. Uh, Other sports that if you guys want to try, skydiving. Now thing is, skydiving, I haven't really done it in India. I have just experienced it once, and I had thought to myself, I'm going to do this again. But that time when I had done it in tandem. We did it in Dubai, me and Rashmi. uh, so this skydive Dubai, we did it there. Phenomenal experience. Like, I have never felt that rush ever in my life. Like, that free fall is something else altogether. So it's like some things,
Yeah.
like, that nobody talks about. So when they fly you, right, they fly you, uh, and you're sitting with these guys, your instructors are right next to you. You start feeling cold. Like, nobody warns you about that. I was shivering before the time we I wasn't because I was scared. It was just because I was cold. I wasn't prepared for that chilliness. So interesting things about skydiving. There is skydiving. For skydiving, there's one in Haryana. There's a school there which teaches skydiving. They operate out of an airstrip out there, so you can check those guys out.
Okay. There is one option in Rajasthan also, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Sky-
tell me about it.
I'm not sure. I just heard about it. I
All right.
don't remember the details, but yeah, just heard about it. It's not sure whether that's currently in operation or not, but I'll have to check it.
All right.
But skydiving options are very limited in India. And
That's
I
true.
guess there are one or two places only.
The Again, for all these sports, it costs a lot of money. There aren't that many takers, and honestly, skydiving is not. It has not grown in India. Like, it's gonna be a while. And actually, that's the problem with all the aviation sports in India. You need a lot of clearances from the DGCA. That's the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. In India, like, even for paragliding licenses, by the way, nobody can issue licenses in India. Like, there's a APPI, there's a world governing body for paragliders, but those licenses mean jack shit in India. There's no value for them. The only authority which can allow you to fly in India of any form is the DGCA. So currently, the DGCA is not providing any licenses. So most of these sports are unregulated. Like, there's no regulation as such, and that's a big problem. It's a big challenge for everyone, because then there are these schools operators who cut corners and who are not, they don't have a good standard of safety.
Right.
So that is the biggest challenge that I see in India. That uh, because we don't have regulations, it's basically, I mean, everybody, there are no set rules on how operator has to operate, what safety standards he has to maintain. Uh, so that is one thing that I would like to see a change in India. That DGCA or any, like, basically the tourism board, they take control of the situation. They lay down proper rules that everybody can follow.
Have you tried this rafting?
Yes, yes. There's one in Rishikesh, which is the mind-blowing one. I haven't tried that. That is on my bucket list. But I tried it in Kolad. In Kolad, what happens is you go early morning, they release the water from the dam, and then you get these grade 2, grade 3 rapids in certain parts. So we went there. It was a fun experience. There was a fun experience in Kolad, and it's pretty cheap also, like something like 1,000 rupees per person.
1,000 rupees.
Yeah.
In North
So yeah,
India, there are a lot of places where you can do rafting. You can do it in Zanskar, Ladakh, then
yeah,
it's in Manali, Kullu, Rishikesh, a lot of places like that.
yeah. And it's fun also. That water is very cold.
Yeah. In Ladakh, it's chilling.
Man.
I got an option. I said, no, I'm not doing that. So I didn't do it. That was primarily because of the cold water,
Oh
not
yeah,
because of
yeah, yeah.
anything. It is
So
chilling.
I mean, generally everywhere else, they wherever this water is so cold, they give you wet suits or dry suits, like full body suits. So you
Yeah.
can enjoy the activity even with the cold. But
Okay.
I don't think that's available in India.
No,
Um,
you
just
are on your own.
jao.
Yeah. And what about this? Just forgetting the name. Have you done trekking and all?
Trekking is more of Rashmi's sport. She loves trekking. So I was born in Dehradun, and as a kid, I've done way too many treks. So like now it's okay.
Yeah, a normal day is a trek.
No, actually, it used to be like that. We used to go on treks, and I used to love them. The views and like it was really used to be amazing. But the proper treks, like the treks which are like for 5 6 days, you stay in camps and uh, basically then trek on the ice as well. That I haven't done. But again, I think Rashmi will be better. Be able. She's experienced that. She loved it. She wants to do it again. We have not done it because I've always been like, nah, mujhe nahi karna.
Okay. And bungee jumping?
Bungee jumping. My friend and I, we went to Nepal. There's a place called as the Last Resort.
Okay.
All right, so like that's the name of the place, the bungee place, the last resort. It's I think the third or the fourth highest in the world. Man, that's an experience to have. That's
Yeah, there's
also
this, in India, it's in Rishikesh, the best one, I guess.
yeah. The longest one is in Rishikesh. Yes, yeah. I haven't done
Yeah.
it in India, so can't help you there. But if you're looking for abroad, I would say South Africa is number one. Then comes Macau, and then even Nepal is amazing.
I got to try the Rishikesh one first. I'm scared of height, so I haven't done.
You should try paragliding.
No, I've done that. I've
No,
done
learn.
paragliding.
Learn.
I'll think about it. Not sure, but I'll cover up all these. I'm not leaving anything.
All right. One another cheaper sport like if you don't want to spend too much money in kite surfing, surfing in India is gaining up a lot. There is in Karnataka especially there are two very good surf clubs. One is Mantra, the other is Shakha. They both are really good. The girl from Shaka was from the same university that I was in, and I knew her then in Manipal. So I know she's done a phenomenal job with her surf shop. So you can like get in touch with them if you want to learn surfing. If you're in Goa, you can learn surfing there also. It happens in Ashwin Beach. There is this Bayou. It's a operator which teaches surfing. So you can check
Okay.
them out. Bayou. Uh, so the months for surfing in India, they're right after monsoon. Once the monsoon
Okay.
ends in September, October, that is the best time to go surfing because then the swells are really good. You'll learn a
Okay.
lot. So surfing is a great experience in Goa, Karnataka, and Orissa, and Pondicherry. So how about if you share BTS for starting on vlogging and maybe some insights on your drone shoots? Uh, okay. I will share that later. Maybe this is not the right time to share this.
Yeah, we are
Then,
just about to cover entire hour.
oh,
We
really?
didn't
It's
plan it
already
that
been an hour.
long.
Wow, I did
Yeah.
not expect that. Wow. Hi Ashish. Hi mom. Hi Akash. What are some adventure sport places in Europe you'd like to travel to? Man, Netherlands, I want to go for kite surfing. And even Spain, Tarifa. Great for kite surfing and skydiving. Um, Sabil, hey man, hi. Thanks. Bhatakta Banjara, hey, what's up? Sabil, hey. Yeah, Karthik. Yeah, the Valley of Flowers in Uttarakhand. That is something that I would really want to do. That is one trek that I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Hi, Reiki Vaidi. What should I do to start kite surfing? I have had issues finding good places to start learning. Vaidi, if you want to learn kite surfing, I would say go to Goa. Like, it'll be a great experience. Head there.
We have some 10 seconds left in this session. After that, it will end. So,
Man, Instagram surprises me every time. I didn't even know there was a 1 hour time limit.
no, I realized during one of these sessions.
So, I had no idea.
Great. So,
Yeah.
we have lost the questions that you guys were posting. So, we are sorry about that. Anand, if you remember some of them, you can answer.
Vaidi had asked about kite surfing. That was the one that I was answering. That head to Goa, or if not Goa, you want to try something new because you've been to Goa too many times. Head to Rameshwaram, Quest Asia in Rameshwaram, and kite surfing Goa. Philippe Dartnell in Goa. These two operators I would really recommend. What else were the questions? Somebody asked about my haircut. Yeah, sorry. That's not happening anytime soon.
That shouldn't actually.
No,
No going
it'll
out.
happen when I come back to India.
No going out.
Yeah.
Guys,
So
do you
just
have
like,
any other question?
yeah, if you have any other questions, we'll be here. Let us know. If not, then it was lovely talking to you, Pankaj.
It was really nice talking to you. And guys, so I'll just tell everyone what exactly this is about. So, guys, I am doing these live sessions that you might have seen since last few days, and we'll record these sessions and we will put this video on India.com. So, India.com is a news and multiple genre specific website. So we'll put these videos over there under travel section. This video would be also available on India.com after some days, probably, and then would notify when it's live. So you can go there, check out the video again. Otherwise, this is going to be live on my page for next 24 hours. So you have missed and you want to catch up, you can watch it there. Thank you so
All right.
much, everyone, for joining.
Yeah, just a couple of people have said some things. Thanks, man. That's a sexy afro by Musafir. You're doing job in travel company or some other company? No, Arjun, I'm not. I'm not in a travel company. I work for an oil company. I'm an engineer. Just now waiting to get repatriated back to India. And there's one more question. Hey, lots of love to your Siraj. Thanks. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay. So, guys, if you want me to go live with someone that you want to know about, or you want to probably ask something to someone, want me to arrange for a session, you can DM me. I'll try and approach the person, and yeah, we can go live with them. With travel with C-Rats, we might be having another session which Rashmi would be taking some other topic and we'll be talking to her about something else. We will notify beforehand. Signing off for now.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Anand. Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining in and for your questions.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.